I'm Tracey. What do you need to know about me? Probably the most important thing you need to know about me is I grew up in the country, halfway between Melbourne and Adelaide, in a little country town. 100 people, no shops, explains all of my issues. As Wendy said, I've been coaching and training for the last 18 years. I specialise at working with franchise groups. These are some of the brands that I've worked with. But you know what? It's not about me. It's not important about who I am, it's about you. You're all business owners and you're here, and for the next little while you're with me, I want you to remember this is about you and your business. What can you do in your business to grow and build it? And I'm hoping that today that you're going to take away some information that you can implement into your business straight away. The biggest thing to remember always when you're in a conference presentation, and the EDs have heard me say this 1,000,001 times, validation is just as important as learning something new when you're in business. Sometimes you need someone to tell you that you're actually doing the right thing. When I'm working with clients, I have a saying, and I have really bad sayings by the way, but I often say to them, don't get in front of a running horse. If I'm working with a business owner and things are going great and they're doing well, step back. Don't get in their way. It was a bit like Lisa when she was talking about breaking the pattern. Who else other than me does not know their left and their right? Okay, I looked like Braith looked, but I was over here, okay, just like, this is all too complicated. So what we need to think about is how you're going to grow and build your business and what's appropriate for you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do an activity. Now, Wendy has pre-warned you how I get you to be quiet, because in a group this big, you need to listen out. So I'll do the, if you hear me clap once, if you hear me clap twice, just stop whatever you're doing, just be quiet so I can give you the next set of instructions. So what I need you to do is stand up and find a partner. Now before you do that, some of you are going to probably find you're going to be without a partner. Turn to the table next to you and see if there's someone missing. If you're without a partner, head to the back of the room and find a partner. And if worst case scenario, so you're not standing by yourself as a lonely loser, just grab a group of 2 and make a group of 3, okay? I'm not going to stress too much about it. So stand up, find a partner. What did we just do then? We played a little activity. Now the reason we play an activity as business owners, as adults, is it gives you the best possible learning for yourself. Oftentimes when we talk about things, we'll theorise them and we'll talk about them intellectually, but we don't actually learn about ourselves. I put you into an activity and you immediately are going to learn some of your inner patterns and things that you're thinking. So that game, of course, is called the change game. What do we know is inevitable in business? Change. Does anyone like change? I'll just give you a heads up because none of you were excited when I said change. Okay, when I said change 5 more, where did the positive attitude core value go? Okay? There was a lot of like, oh, how many of you thought, I wish I'd worn more clothes today? Yeah. So what we know is that change is inevitable in business. But that little lesson could be your biggest lesson today because it's going to teach you about how you handle change. So the first thing is, who found the first 5 things the easiest to change? The first 5 was easy, it got really hard after the second 5. Who found the second 5 easier than the first 5? Who's not going to raise their hand no matter what I say? Great. So what we understand is that if you found the first 5 easier, you're probably an earlier adapter. If you found the second 5 easier, you're probably a later adapter. That's a great activity to play if you have a team that works with you, because you're going to learn out who are your earlier adapters and who are your later adapters. Who are the people who are going to jump on board with change, get it going, and then when do you need to hand it over to the later adapters to actually make sure that the change works? When you played that game, who actually borrowed something off someone else? Like someone else was wearing glasses, not in their partnership, and borrowed it. In school that would have been called cheating. In business it's market research. So to actually take those activities and learn, how many of you in your chapters are actually watching the other business owners, watching how they're growing their business, the things they're implementing and going, how does that apply to me? One of the best questions you can ask to grow your business is, how does that apply to me? How can I use that in my business? When we actually played that game, when you turned away from your partner, majority of you, other than some of you on the edges, were facing someone else. How many of you asked that person for help? Like, I'm stuck, what else could I change? Did anyone ask someone else for help? There's a hand over here, couple of hands. Isn't that amazing? We get into business and we forget to ask for help. I've been coaching and training for 18 years. That is my favourite game. I play it every single time. Do you think in 18 years anyone has ever asked me for help? Not once. I would have given it to you if you ran up to me and said, Tracey, what else can I change? I would have told you all the things you can change because I've seen it all. And yes, I have had people get down to their underwear. It was uncomfortable for me. The team seemed to be fine about it. That worried me even more. So when you think about it, you've got to realise that in business, sometimes you have to ask for help. And sometimes it's just someone going, no, you're all okay. Don't always think that we have to always be improving. Sometimes you just need someone else to look at your business and say, no, you're doing great, keep going. Sometimes it's little fine changes. Now, just to really cheese you all off, when I asked you to change 5 things about your appearance, guess what? I just changed 5 things about my appearance. Who's now going, I got dressed and changed for no reason? How often in business are we overcomplicating it? We all of a sudden go, oh, I've got to change, so we're trying to change everything. Instead of thinking, what can we add? And that's what I want to do for you today. I don't want you to change who you are or your business. I want you to think about what could you add? How could you go to that next level by improving? At the very end of that, does anyone remember my exact words? I said it a few times, some of you are still talking, you may not have heard it, but I said, thank your partner and take a seat. My question is, how many of you have taken a seat and put yourself back together 95 to 100% exactly how you were before you started? The worst thing that could happen from today is you're here, you're learning all this great information, and then you rock up to your business on Monday and you do nothing. You change nothing, you don't add anything, you don't do anything, you take nothing from the day you've spent here. Time is one of your most valuable assets. So if you're going to be here and learn. Who's already got a bit of a lesson from that? The other one that a lot of people do, see if any of you did this, when I say change 5 more things, you just change stuff back. I took my shoes off, so I just put them back on. Yeah, that doesn't always work in business either. You know, the thing about business that I've found is that you just have to get back to basics. We're overcomplicating our business. The best thing you can do for your business is simplify it. Just bring it all back and get back to basics. Every business is built from the same foundation. If you've been in business a long time, one of the best questions you can ask yourself is, what are the 2 or 3 things that I used to do in my business that worked that for whatever reason I've stopped doing? If you've been in business for more than 10 years, I bet you there's a whole stack of things that you used to do that you've just stopped doing because you got busy. These are some of the best things to implement straight away. Stop overcomplicating your business and bring it back to the basics, and that's where it'll start to move forward. Now, you just had a great presentation before around, growing a business, growing a B&I chapter. What was the key to all of that? I can't even see him. Where is he? I can't see from the stage, so you have to stand up. Oh, there he is. Okay. Guess what? There wasn't anything there that was different. That was the system. That was just the B&I system, and they followed it. Oh, surprise, they got success. Guess what people do in business? They overcomplicate it. They start going, oh, I need to do more. I need to do something different. Follow the system. And it will start to build it. And every business has the basic system. I basically break down as a business owner 4 things that you need to focus on. The first one is what I would call the skills of business. Marketing, sales, the technical skills of your business. Who's ever heard that saying that, if you've got a kid in high school and they're excelling at art, but they're borderline passing maths, what should you get them a tutor for? The majority of population will get them a tutor for maths, right? Why? They're never going to be a mathematician. Let them learn how to count money and get out of school with some sort of self-esteem. But what happens if we got them a tutor for art? Something that they're already good at, and we take it to the next level. What are you already good at in your business that you could take to the next level? A lot of people come to me as a coach because they think that they need to get better at something that's their skill-based. Skill, by very definition, is something that can be learnt. You don't have to be talented at sales to be a great salesperson. You don't have to be talented at marketing to be a great marketing person. You just have to learn the skills and the processes to make that happen. The next one is mindset. Now, this is not just about having a positive attitude. What I always think about mindset is, how do you react and respond to things that happen in your business? Because does stuff go wrong in your business, or is that just me? Okay? But stuff also goes right. Do you know a lot of business owners are very accountable when things go wrong in their business? Yep, it was me, it was my fault, I didn't do this right. But when those things go right in their business, all of a sudden it's a fluke. Oh, it got busy. I don't know what happened. It was just a fluke. My business got busy. No, there had to be something to actually lead up to that. Mindset's also around making sure you're taking total responsibility of your business. The third area is what I call action. Some of you don't actually need to have more skills or more mindset. Sometimes you just need to do more. And sometimes it's not about doing exciting new stuff, it's doing some of the same old boring stuff that works in your business and doing lots of it. The fourth area is what I would call the why. Who's ever done any Simon Sinek work? Start with why. He's an amazing presenter. I had the opportunity to actually hear him live. Your why is so important. I was talking to Adam and Steve, who are both coaches in the room, and Adam's from Sydney. Stand up, guys. I was having a good chat to them, both coaches. I don't know where Steve is, but there we are. We were having a chat about what people come to a coach for. And what I found was, we were talking about is most people think that business owners go to a coach to make more money. Oftentimes the why is nothing to do with the money of the business. Sometimes it's about getting more time, sometimes it's about achieving something, it's often about their family. There's a bigger purpose. You need to understand your why in business, because that's the thing that's going to help you when things are tough. That's the thing that you need to keep coming back to. And you want that front and centre of you at all times, understanding why you're here and what it is that you're trying to achieve. Who is it that you serve? Who are the people you're trying to help through your business? Because I can guarantee you it's more than just profit, although profit's always good. I once remember a coach telling me, business is just how many zeros you have on your P&L, and I had to speak after him and I said, just make sure there's a number in front of those zeros. Otherwise it's there. When you think about it, business is just a series of steps. You want to go from here to there. Most people know where they are. Most people know where they want to go in their business, what their goal is. Where they fall down is the steps in between. Who's ever heard the saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. It's my favourite saying. If this is where you are in your business and this is where you want to go, break it down into steps. 90 days is a really good time frame in your business to set goals. 1 year is often too long. Whoever remembers at school when you did your homework? Was it like the night before it was due? Or if, like me, and you grew up in the country and you had a rather long bus ride, you could get a whole lot of homework done on the bus ride to school, right? You can't do that in business. You need to work over time. 90 days is good because it's long enough to get things done, but not so long that you lose focus. The other thing is to remember that 90 days means that you're not too locked in, because sometimes opportunities occur and you need to change path. Would you all agree? So you don't want to lock yourself in so much with your planning that you miss it. So it's understanding what those action steps are and breaking them down. Do you need to have action steps that you need to do in your business daily, weekly, monthly? What are they? So, who's aware of a traffic light system in some sort of organisation where they track people's KPIs via a traffic light system? Green for go, red for stop. Anyone know of a system like that? Does it work around the world? My question is, what's your traffic lights in your business? What we want to think about is do you have a set of traffic lights for your business? When do you know your business is in the green? What are the key drivers that are going to change your business? When is your business in the yellow or the orange? When do you need to change it? When are things in the red where it's dire? If you can start to build out a structure of your business to actually have those traffic lights within your own business, you're going to hold yourself accountable. Something that a lot of people don't realise, someone else can't hold you accountable. Did you know that? Because there's always a great way you can do it. I've always had clients, I call them the slippery fish clients, because they're slippery fish. You can't ever hold on to them. They're always trying to move around. You need to think about what you're doing and start to hold yourself accountable, because it's your goals, it's your life, and it's where you're headed. The easiest way to do that is to break things down and have little action steps that you're going to carry out every single day, every week. Is this making sense to everyone? Is this helping? Raise your hand if this is helping. So what you want to think about as well is that at some point in time in your business, you're going to have challenge. So I always think that you're here and we're looking to our vision. This is where we want to go, and it looks like a straight path. Has anyone set their vision at like 9 o'clock at night and you go to bed going, yeah, this is great. And then the next morning you wake up going, how in the heck did I set that vision? At some point in time, you're going to come across an obstacle. So you think when the obstacle's there, oftentimes it creates our whole field of vision. And we forget what our bigger vision is, and all we can see is the obstacle in front of us. So there's two things we need to do. The first one is we need to reduce the size of the obstacle. I don't believe that you can necessarily always get rid of an obstacle. Sometimes it's just reducing it. And sometimes that happens just up here. Sometimes we start to think an obstacle is huge. Has anyone ever done that where you go, I've got to do all of this stuff and it's going to take me a day to do it, and then when you do it, it took you like 45 minutes? And you're like, oh, why have I been procrastinating on that for 3 weeks when actually it only took me 45 minutes? Because it's not like I ever have a day to put aside to just solve something. We need to think about it. Sometimes it's breaking it down into bite-sized pieces. Sometimes it's asking for help. The other thing that we need to do is we need to increase our vision. Now, that doesn't mean you need to make your vision bigger. If you go, I want to make $100,000 profit, now I need to make $1 million profit. No. Make it bigger in your life. The best places to put your vision and your goals, has everybody done a visualization board, a vision board, putting up your goals and things? On the fridge, on the bathroom mirror, and on the back of the toilet door. And also, if you do a lot of mobile business, on your visor in your car or your vehicle is a great place to put your vision. We want to make it more tangible. We want to start talking about it. The best people to vision build with are your kids. Tell them what the vision is because they won't let it go. If you put down a vision, you're taking them to Disneyland, you better mean you're going to go there. Otherwise, you're going to hear about it. So we want to start to think about that, because once we've actually got our vision big enough and our obstacle small enough, can you see that we can now see around our obstacle to our vision to actually grow and build our business? Such a simple thought process, but if you use that, it'll help you to start to grow and build. Remember, back to basics and keeping things simple. The next thing in your business is you need to start being more confident. But how often is it we're talking ourselves down? Oh, I just run a small business. Oh, I've only just got started. Oh, there's people out there doing better than me. You need to become your number one fan. Nobody else needs to know. You just need to start talking positively about what you're doing in your business. Have that quiet confidence of knowing what you do and who you serve. Just right now, raise your hand if you know you do a really good job in your business. So when you think about that, keep that in mind. Be confident in what you do, who you serve, and how you help them. The other thing to remember is, what are your priorities? The biggest problem that most business owners have is they're disorganised. They're just all over the shop, they're disorganised. Then if you can just get organised in your business, it's amazing. I was sitting next to Mimi last night from Thrive. She's a sponsor. She was speaking this morning about CRM. Holy moly, how disorganised are some business owners? Who went for years with like a shoebox full of business cards? Not just me. I found one the other day when I was moving. I went, oh wow, look at this gold mine of people. Imagine if I actually had them in a CRM so I could contact them. Start to get organised in your business. Start knowing what you need to do by when, and it'll be amazing how much faster you will go. Understand your business as well when you're looking to grow it. I always like to ask clients a couple of things, like who are your favourite clients to work with? Who is that ideal? And don't just think about, even an ideal client. Who's your dream client? Understand what your favourite products are or your favourite services, because maybe they're the ones that you need to go and market and do more of. Understand which of your products has the highest conversion rate. If you don't like sales, work out which is the stuff that's easiest for you to sell and for people to buy. Stop selling, by the way. Allow people to buy. Okay? Help them, don't sell. Just as an added extra, not on my PowerPoint, we'll give you some extra value. The other one is what I call not negotiable time. Who's busy? You're a human being, everybody's busy, right? It's the catch cry of all business owners, I'm busy. Yep, I'd rather be busy than sitting around twiddling my thumbs wondering when the next client's going to come. I don't complain about being busy because I remember a time in my business before I became a coach when I wasn't busy and I was really stressed out. When you think about it, not negotiable time is you might put aside just an hour a week. Did you know an hour is less than 1% of all the time that's available to you in a week? If you put aside 1 hour a week to work on the things in your business that are not urgent but are really important to growing your business, You'll work on an accumulative effect and you'll find out that you'll get a whole lot more done. And that 1 hour needs to be not negotiable, uninterrupted. Pretend you're going to the doctor, your phone is off, the team can't ring you. You're not checking emails. You put yourself aside. If you don't have time in your day, guess what? Get up at 5 a.m. Stay up and do it at 8 o'clock at night. Find a time. When you get really good at that, do it twice a week. If you get better at it, start doing it daily. Has anyone ever had that? If you've had time uninterrupted for, say, an hour, how much stuff you can get done? It's the interruptions that actually upset us. But if you had to leave your team or your business to go and see a specialist that you've had an appointment with for 6 months, to go see a doctor, would you set aside that hour and you wouldn't be interrupted by work stuff, right? Guess what? You're more important than the specialist. Make an appointment with yourself and actually diarise it. Put it into your appointment schedule. Understand what your goals are. What are your goals and where are you headed? And remember to set goals for you. I've done it in my business. I wonder how many of you have done it where you've set a goal and it wasn't for you, it was just for someone else. So you want to think about what are your goals? Where are you headed? Are they for you? And every time you write a goal, say, why is this important to me? And sometimes simplify your goals. Focus on one thing. What's the thing that's really going to help you to grow and build? Has everyone got something so far? Okay. So we've got another little exercise to go, is that I want to talk to you about what is your number one lesson from what we talked about. Remember when we played the change game at the start and I said, how many of you changed all the way back? Every time when you're at a conference or a training session, even after every B&I meeting, stop and go, what was my number one lesson from that? What's the thing that I want to implement? The most powerful tools you have in your business, pen and paper. There's something that happens when you write something down on paper. There's lots of studies that they've done, if you take notes at a conference and even if you leave them in the bin as you walk out, you'll retain more information. Take a minute and write down what was your number one lesson from my session. What was the thing that you learnt for yourself? Remember, validation or something new. Take a minute, write it down. Don't share it with anyone. Just take a minute and write it down. Okay, turn to the person next to you and share with them. What was your number one lesson? What's the one thing that you've taken that you're going to use for your business? Has everyone got some value from the session? Okay, great. If you always look to add to value to someone else, you usually can't go wrong. In every interaction, always leave people feeling better than when they arrived. So I really hope, even if it was 1 point in a scale of out of 10, that you're feeling better after this session. My key is simplify your business. Stop overcomplicating it, come back to the basics, and you'll start to see success. The most successful businesses, the most profitable, are generally not the sexiest. So thanks for joining me today.